Hi friends, it's Carolyn Zick here with Zick Stitch, and today is Saturday, November 6th, 2021. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I'm so glad that you are here. Welcome to the returning friends of ours, and welcome to our new friends as well. I am still getting caught up on all the questions and comments from the past two videos, but thank you all so much for your wonderful comments. I do have a few questions to go over. And so I'll go over those. And if you've asked a question, I'm getting to it. I just haven't gone over all the questions and comments yet. So our first question is from Judith, and she asked me, how do I track my hours? So I talk a lot about how I track time stitched. I don't track number of stitches. There's a few ways you can do it. Some people don't track anything at all and they just work when they need to work. I think I have a fuzzy right there. I am show ready, y'all. So some people don't worry about tracking anything at all, which is perfectly fine. That's one way to do it. You just pick up your piece and put in a few stitches when you can and call it good. Some people track the number of stitches that they do. Pattern Keeper, which is for Android only right now. Hopefully they'll be coming out with one for Apple products in the future. Pattern Keeper, which is not all charts are compatible with Pattern Keeper, but on Pattern Keeper it tracks your stitches for you by the day. So if you sit down and stitch for a few hours one day, it will automatically tell you how many stitches you have. Other people count. A lot of charts are in blocks of 10, so they might count by the blocks of 10. I'm not exactly sure because I don't count stitches, so I'm not exactly sure how the people who count stitches, maybe you want to let us know below how you count stitches if you're not using something like Pattern Keeper. I track time, and so I just use my phone. I go to my clock app. Well, you can see that's last night. It's just my clock app right here on my phone. I have an Apple. And that's how much I stitched last night, but I'm going to reset it because I already wrote it down in my calendar. And so here it is at 00, ready to go. And when I sit down and start stitching, I'll hit start and I'll just let it run. Now, I'm the type of person, and this is completely up to you. I'm the type of person that if I get a text message or a Facebook message or something like that, I will stop my timer and pick up my phone and look at, respond whatever message I need to. And then when I sit back down, I'll start my timer again. Or if I have to get up and go to the washroom or anything like that, I will stop my timer and then turn it back on when I get back and ready to start stitching again. I do that also for 24 hours of cross stitch as well. That's just the way I do it. Some people don't track it. They just say, I'll start stitching at 7 p.m. and, I'm done at 8:30. That's about an hour and a half. And maybe I got up a couple of times, go to the washroom in there. Whatever. It's just up to you how you want to do it. There's no right or wrong way. There are other apps, timer apps as well. I don't use them, but I know some people use timer apps, which will allow you to have like several different whips, and you can just continuously track your time on that whip. I have another method for how I do that. But each evening when I stitch, or day when I stitch, I start my timer. And I time it by project. Usually I only stitch on one project a day. But if I were to say stitch on 2 projects in a day, so say we're running, and I'll hit stop, and then I'll hit start, and then right away I'll hit lap. And you can see it gave me a lap, and that will be my second project. And it will keep my first project time there. And then it will tell me how much I'm stitching on my second project. And this will be my total ongoing amount of time. So that's how I do it on something like, also 24 hours of cross stitch where I might be stitching on multiple projects a day. Or during Bringo in January when I might be stitching on multiple projects a day. So Judith, I hope that helped answer your question. Do let me know if that didn't make sense or if you want further explanation, but that's how I do it. That's how I track my hours. And then I write it down in my planner, how many minutes. I do by minutes, and then I convert that into hours because I'm a bit ridiculous. And Judith, you also made a comment about what? A car after 20 years. And yes, I shouldn't say always, I've lived in larger cities for the most part where I haven't needed a car. And I mean, there's been a couple of exceptions to that where a car would have been useful, but I didn't really need it. And I got by without one by using public transit. And now I live in Portland, Oregon, where it's very easy to live without a car. And so I just haven't had the need for one. Now in December, I sold my house and I moved to the suburbs, where, it's just kind of time for me to have a car. And so I got a car in December. But yes, I went about 20 years with not owning a car. And boy, cars have changed a lot in 20 years. So that's exciting. But yeah, I went 20 years without a car. But I have my car now. Tracy asked me, what DMC did you use for the words on Spring Quaker, which I forgot to bring down. But on Spring Quaker, I used all the call for Valdani threads, except for there are words on there. The DMC number that I used for just the words is 535. It's like a gray. And I used just one strand. So they do show up enough that you can read them, but not so much that it takes away from, the beautiful motifs. So it's DMC 535 is what I ended up using. And I really liked how that turned out. Jesse had a great idea of doing a Zoom planning meeting. I know several of you bought the planner, it's sitting right here, this planner for next year. And Jesse had the great idea, hey, why don't we do a Zoom planner meeting where we can plan out our 2022 or work on our planners. So I thought that was a great idea, Jesse, and maybe we'll do that after Thanksgiving, so early December. We can have a Zoom planning meeting if anyone is interested in that. So stay tuned for more information on that. All right, that is the questions and comments I've gotten to so far. So let's get into what I worked on this week. I had a new start. I'm super, super excited about it. I kind of want to just keep working on it. I haven't. I only worked on it. There's jack hair all over it, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I kind of want to just keep working on it, but I started Cat Alphabet, which is completely influenced by Stitching Mommy Sarah, who started it a little while ago. It is a Haid. It's charted by Haid. The artist is named Irina Garmashova. And this is how far I got. You can see some threads hanging out here. So I worked on, there's two colors in there. You can't really tell. But there are two colors in there. I am stitching this on 18 count Aida. 2 strands over 1 thread, which is, my happy place is 2 strands. I really love stitching with 2 strands. And it's going well. My eyes need a little adjustment for remembering to go over 1 strand, not 2. But it's really fun. So I just got a little bit of background. I only worked on this for a few hours. And I didn't write down how many stitches I got. But this is kind of like a block of color here. So there's not too much confetti, which was nice. And so, I got over 500 stitches because this area that I'm in the block. And I'll put a picture here. For you to see what it will look like. And you can see I'm just right at the top. And I'm going to do what Sarah from Stitching Mommy is doing, which is basically focusing on the first block and focusing on finishing that before moving on to the second block. And I'll do the same. This piece is giant. I need to cut it down. I have not cut it down yet. It's way bigger than it needs to be. It's like a blanket. Can you see this? And when I had it on the ground to put the Q-snaps on, and your cat Jack laid right in the middle of it and was like rolling around on the white Aida. So this is way bigger than it will be. Yeah. So there you go. I forgot to talk about Halloween, didn't I? We had Halloween. We're going to interrupt Whips, talk about Halloween. So many of you know I moved to a new house this summer. And so this was my first Halloween at the new house, and I didn't really know what to expect. I had talked to a couple neighbors to see, and they said, oh yeah, we definitely get kids, because my last house is on a very busy street. And my best year, I think I had 7 kids. That was my best year while I lived at that house, and I lived there for 7 years. This house, I had 45 trick-or-treaters. They were so cute. It was so loud out in the street. It was so much fun. It sounded like a school playground. It was so much fun, and the costumes were wonderful. Everyone was really polite. I got to meet some new neighbors I haven't had a chance to meet yet. So it was a really, really fun night. So that was Halloween. So yeah, it's really fun. I need to up my outdoor decorations game. I just was a little behind the ball this year, but we're getting on the ball for Christmas decorations. So that was Halloween. Okay, so that's Cat Alphabet. I will need to cut down that piece of fabric, but I'm loving doing that one. So that was my new start. That was for the October theme Kaleidoscope. So I swapped out what I was going to start, which was the stained glass, and I switched it to that one. But don't worry, we'll start stained glass, the cross one, soon. I also continued to work on Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor because I wanted to get my 15 hours in for my WIPGO block. That will be the December block, actually. So this is what it will look like. This is stitched on a 28 count doubloon by Picture This Plus. And this is where I'm at. So, isn't it beautiful? I am using the Valdani threads. This one does not have words in it, so I don't think I'll be using any DMC. So what I worked on, I got this motif done. I got this motif done. There's a lot of these little star shapes. Well, no, I'm almost done with this motif. So yeah, that's what I think that's where I worked, I think, a lot this week as I worked on finishing up this motif. I almost got it done. So I am on to page 2. Page 1 is more or less done. There's a little bit layover into page 1 when I drop down to this would be page 4. But for the most part, page 1 is done, and I'm on to page 2. My original goal on this for the year was to get pages 1 through 3 done. That won't happen. This will be the regular piece for next year that you'll see frequently, and the goal is to finish it next year. So I don't have plans on bringing this one back out again this year. But you'll see her a lot next year. So that was Autumn Quakers. I also worked on L'Amazing, which is in the Stoney Creek Summer 2020 magazine. I'll show you the front cover if I can find the front cover. Yeah, this is what it looks like. The Stoney Creek Cross Stitch. This is what the magazine looks like. This is what the chart will look like. I took out the words, "You are amazing," and I just shifted the llama down. And you'll remember last week I talked about how much trouble I was having with the glisten gloss, and I did finish the llama. Oh, you got, here, how's that? I did finish the llama. Just got really dark in here. I messed up somewhere in here. I don't know. I'm supposed to end it with 1 stitch at the bottom, not 2, but it's close enough. It's fine. If you look at it closely, the stitches are not nice. They don't lay well. But, it's done. I slubbed through the glisten gloss. So really all I have left, there's a bunch of back stitching, like around the face and down here on the sides. There's a button that goes right here, so that's why that empty space is there. And then I have to finish this bottom border, and then I'll be done. So my goal is to finish it this year. I think it's completely doable. And this will come out again. I think next month I have it slated to come out to finish, but I have some potentially open spaces at the end of this month. So we'll see. But she is almost done, and I can't wait. I have the frame in my head, what I want for a frame to be picked out, or what I want it to be, kind of like a pretty ornate white frame, and I think that will be really pretty. It's got really dark. Let me pause you and turn on a little better. It has been stormy, like downpouring on and off all day today. So I did run out to Costco earlier, which is mayhem, because Saturday at a Costco before Christmas is mayhem. But I'm home now, but it was pouring rain when I was driving there. Okay, the other piece that I've worked on is Autumn. L'Amazing is stitched on a 28 count vintage blue whisper. And the other piece I've been working on is Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow, block 2, this block here. So I got the pumpkin patch done last night. These were done, the fence and the haystacks were done. So I need to do this whole barn and all these images. What is it? They're birds and cats and leaves, like all this around the barn. So I'm stitching this on a 32 count vanilla latte by Be Stitch Me. Same thing I'm stitching all of my Hawk Run Hollows on. So this is where I'm at. Yes, that is a lot of stitching, and I know the barn will be a lot of stitching as well. But I got that done. So I was happy to get and those are the feet of the scarecrow. So the scarecrow goes right here, and then the house goes, or the barn goes around him. So, yeah, it's a pretty easy stitch. It just takes tenacity. That's all it is. So it was nice. I did all the pumpkins first and then put the stems on all the pumpkins. And so it was just a lot of fill-in, which was kind of fun and nice. And, on a Friday night after you work all week, it's kind of a nice low brain capacity stitch to work on. So my goal on this is to finish block 2 by the end of the year. I'm going to really focus on this this month and try to finish block 2, which means you'll see it again next week. Maybe even finished. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. All right, let's move into haul. I do have a little bit of haul to share with you. I did take this out of the package. I got my Color and Cotton Fabric of the Month fabric in. This is for October. This is the color Willow. It's kind of not. Will this work? Will this make it look better? If you look over here, that's pretty good. It's very pretty. I'm in the neutral club, so and this is a 32 count, and I get a 17 by 26 inch piece. And that came in the mail. And I probably won't continue this one for next year just because I have a lot of fabric. I've been in this for a year, plus the rogue stitching I've been in for a year as well. And then I got a couple of charts from the Daily Stitcher, which is an online needlework shop, cross stitch shop, just www.thedailystitcher.com. This was inspired by Pam and Steph of Just Keep Stitching. They do they have a thing, I can't think of the word, with Twin Peak Primitives where they pick a chart every week and they get 20% off. And the Daily Stitcher is where you can get the hard copy charts, and I like the hard copies, not the PDFs. So this one was 20% off. And it's called Skating on the Pond by Twin Peak Primitives. And I've been eyeing it, and I keep meaning to buy it, and I didn't. And then it was 20% off. So I said, well, let me just jump on that. I think it's just a darling, darling picture. I love that. And then, because no chart can travel alone, I got Winter Birds, which is also by Twin Peak Primitives, and also another one I've been eyeing. I think it's just beautiful. So I got those 2 charts to add to my collection. Then I needed a couple Q snaps. Mine are all tied up, so I just needed a couple more 11 by 11 Q snaps. I struggle a lot with fitting the pieces together and mixing and matching them. So I usually just try to keep them together. So I got that from Garon Stitchery. And then also those couldn't travel alone. So I picked up this chart called Christmas Delivery by Cottage Garden Samplings. Christmas Delivery. I've seen it a lot, and I finally just had to have it because I think it's such a pretty piece. So I got that. And then also inspired by Pam and Steph, I picked up some bags. I cheated on Ronnie and Gary, and I picked up some bags from Grandma's World. Grandma's Treasures. Gamma's Treasure Shop on Etsy. Gamma's Treasure Shop on Etsy. And you can pause it, and you can find her also on Facebook and Instagram and email. But I picked up a couple of her bags because I just loved the fabric, and I just thought it was really pretty. So here's the first one. Isn't that beautiful? It has a vinyl front, but it's not too thick, which I really like, and it has a zipper. And then she threw in, I don't know if all the bags come with this, but she threw in this little, there's a magnet under here, under her signature, her little tag, to hold your scissors, and then you can put your floss on this. I have one that I use a lot. Jan Hicks gave it to me, and I love them. So, and then the back of it matches the inside fabric. Right, so it matches the inside fabric. So I thought that was really beautiful. So definitely check her out. I'll link her shop below. And then the other one I got was this fall. I mean, look at this. It's woodland creatures with floral around it. It's so pretty. I love it so much. And then the inside is this gray. Can you see gray polka dot fabric? And again, she gave me this little, I can't remember what she called it. I don't think I have my note that she sent with it. But definitely go check her out. Gamma's Treasures. Wonderful quality bags. Very reasonably priced. She's from Canada. So I got a couple of bags. So I love those. And that is my haul this week. Okay, let's talk plans. So plans for this coming week. I have decided, I think I told you this last week, that for my Sunday spin piece, which I didn't actually spin, I am going to work on Kringles by Little House Needleworks. My goal for the year is to get this top roof done, just the roof. So then I can work on kind of the fun part. I am not very far on this. So it will be kind of a push to get her done. And I'm trying to see if I know what fabric I'm stitching it on. Yes, I do. My couch is a mess. So let's see where I'm at first. Okay, so here, I have basically a third of it done. So I have, there's 3 windows at the top, and I have 1 window done. You see those 3 windows? I have that one done. So I'm going to work on this every Sunday this month, possibly also next month to get it done. I am stitching this on a 32 count pearl gray Belfast linen. So we'll take another look. I do love it. I mean, I don't love working on the roof because you see all the tiles. I mean, I love the effect of it, but man, there's a lot of counting. You really have to pay attention. You know, it's not good Friday night stitching, if you will. But I'm going to work on this on Sundays. So that you will see coming up this week. Trying to meet that goal of getting the roof done this year. And then I'm going to be working on Christmas dinner. So this month's acrostic is home, Home. And this will be the O in home. This is Christmas dinner. And O is for, because it's my oldest chart that I have. Not necessarily my oldest WIP, but my oldest chart. And I am starting over here in this area. So let me, oh, that's right. That's where it was. So this is where I'm at, but I am pulling out up here because I accidentally stitched it with 2 strands. It should be 1. And then you can see very distinctly where I started at 1. So I have to rip all this out and then restitch it. So, but look at these little bears poking through. I do like this piece. I like working on it. I'm just bummed I have to do some frogging. But, you know, My goal on this is 6 hours. That my goal for the year on this was 30 hours. And if I do 6 more hours, which I'll be able to do this month, that will meet that goal. I think I have the same goal for next year, another 30 hours, which should make some good progress. And then, of course, I will continue working on Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow number 2. So those are my plans. It's a pretty quick video today. That's about all I have. What I'm going to do next with the rest of my afternoon is I'm going to go upstairs once I get this uploaded, and I'm going to start building a cabinet for my craft room. So I'm very, very excited to start putting it together. It's an IKEA cabinet. So I'm very, very excited. And the desks from IKEA finally came in stock. I've been waiting on them since June. They should be delivered here tomorrow. So I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week of stitching ahead of you, and I will see you next week. Bye.